What is going on out there in baseball land? The land of the MLB Trade Deadline. We have some deal or no deal in this one. Deal Max Scherzer to the Rangers, though it looked like for a minute that was about to be a catastrophe. Crisis averted, everybody. We are good to go. Max Scherzer is a Texas Ranger. Luis Angel Acuna is a New York Met, and that is great for the New York Mets. Good job, Billy Epler, getting what could be a star. We talk about how Ellie De La Cruz, we talk about O'Neal Cruz, we talk about, I guess Cruz is the caveat here, but Acuna is a pretty good last name too. You talk about what Frelick's doing in Milwaukee. You talk about what Vladdy did in Toronto when he got there. These stars, you have top prospects, and there's stars that just captivate the city, captivate a town, captivate baseball. And Luis Angel Acuna could do that for the New York Mets. Maybe next season, maybe the year after. But good job by Billy Epler. Essentially cost $35 million for Luis Angel Acuna, and it might be worth it. It might be worth it. And the Rangers, you get Max to, or whether you got Max or Steve Cohen, Billy Epler, or somebody got Max to opt in for the 2024 season, because the Rangers, that was our holdup. That was the situation that kept us from having a smooth ride through this deal. So we have Max, Rangers, done. That's good news for them. We also have now Justin Verlander. You're up. Where's Justin Verlander going? We're going to talk about Justin Verlander. We're going to talk more about Max. We're going to talk about the Cardinals. And finally, Mozeliak went out and said, no trade. We are keeping Nolan Arenado. Took long enough, didn't it? Should this have happened days ago when all of the rumors kicked up? Because it wasn't like it was rumors on Twitter from MLB Scoops. It was legit LA Times with rumors. We're going to talk about that. Could it mean that there's no deal between the Cardinals and the Dodgers because the whole thing started off with a discussion about pitching? Could that be dead? We'll see. We have the Cubs. The Cubs are a hot topic right now. I want to talk about the Cubs as well, as we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about this. I want everybody, if you have not, your Cubs looking to win again. The Cubs are going to be 2 games over 500, and I love the Cubs, but 2 games over 500, and it's fun. It's fun. But why do I get the feeling that there's a lot of people that are ready to put the Cubs in the World Series? We'll talk about it. I'll calm down a little bit. Maybe I can talk some of my logic and sense out there, and you can see where I'm coming from with the Cubs. We got a lot to get into in this one today. We are live on a Saturday night. I hope you're all doing really well. We're going to maybe be here for a trade, to react to a trade. We were here when David Robertson was traded. We'll see. Maybe there's more action to July 29th that we just haven't seen yet. We'll get into all of that. I want to remind you that our live stream is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code BALLCAP, and Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit of $10 or more. Deposit 100, get 100. Deposit 10, get 10. Free. Underdog Fantasy, you've got Pick'em, you have season-long drafts, you have daily drafts. There's a lot of good stuff here. You've got a online, you've got a standard platform, you've got a mobile platform. Check them out. Underdog Fantasy, our presenting sponsor here. And also, we are sponsored by my podcast, the Barreled Up Podcast, the QR code for you to click if your phone is handy, take you to a landing page with all of the podcast platforms, because we're everywhere. We'd love for you to get barreled up with me. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. So let's talk about this. Finally, finally, the white flag was waved the other day with Robertson, but now it's all the way waved with Max Scherzer and waived for 2023. Yeah. 2024 is starting to be an interesting question mark around the New York Mets, right? Think about this, guys. Everybody that's with me in the chat, hit that like. Let's get to that like goal as quickly as possible. But also, think about 2024, guys. Max Scherzer was supposed to be a part of a 2024 winning Mets team. So was Justin Verlander. David Robertson, maybe not. But Scherzer and Verlander were supposed to be there. There's also rumors about Jose Quintana. There's rumors about Mark Canha. I ask this. If the Mets are going to eat money like they did for Scherzer, is Starling Marte available? Starling Marte's $19.5 million in 2024 and $19.5 million in 2025. If the Mets are willing to buy prospects, would they go and tell somebody, we'll pay for $25 million of Starling? Are the Mets calling around offering up Starling Marte now? Because they saw how this worked. They got a star prospect in Luis Angel Acuna. Call somebody up that needs an outfielder and say, hey, I know you need an outfielder. Yeah, okay, we get it. Starling Marte might be a little expensive, but we'll pay for his contract if you give us something good in return. I'm saying. I'm just saying, I don't think we can rule it out at this point. It pretty much feels like everybody but Alonso, Lindor, Senga, McNeil, Nimmo, everybody else, it feels like they're available for the right price. So a good get, though, by the New York Mets to get Luis Angel Acuna in this trade. I think, again, I talked about it at the top. There could be a star here. There could be a star, a city invigorating, franchise motivating, baseball encapsulating, rootin', tootin', scootin', I'm sorry, prospect coming to the New York Mets. I think this is a great get. He's got talent. He's got the name. He's a good player. I did a video on Luis Angel Acuna in January of 2022. During the offseason in 2022, I was fascinated with Acuna back then. I'm still fascinated with him, and I love that the New York Mets got him. You can go check out that video. It is hanging out on the channel. I had taken it down. I had made it private. It was in the vault. It is free, unlocked. It is back out there for the world to find on YouTube. So this is a big one. I don't see Pete going on the block. No, Pete is a building block. They're going to be back, in theory, they're going to be back in 2024 trying to compete. This does make it interesting and make you wonder with what? With what are they going to be back competing with? Because Verlander's on his way out. Scherzer's already gone. You could see more. Quintana could be on his way. Who's starting? I don't worry about the Mets putting together a lineup. They've got that. It's going to be the pitching. That will be interesting to see how they navigate around, because what's one of the things Billy Epler could not do with the Angels? And now he's got to do it with the Mets. And to this point, you could say he hasn't done it with the Mets. Though I do like Senga. And it wasn't his fault that Quintana got hurt. And he wasn't the guy that went out and got Carrasco. It is what it is. So I like this deal for both sides. The Rangers are in World Series. Let's go. They have thrown their hat in the ring. That ring that has about 5 or 6 other teams that are in World Series or bust. If we don't win the World Series, this is a disappointment. That's where the Rangers are at with the money they've spent, with the trades they have made. They are in World Series or bust mode. It will be a disappointment if the Texas Rangers do not win the World Series. 29 likes away from 100 with almost 400 of you in here. We need 28. 28 to get to 100. Let's see it, guys. Let's see a jump. Mets owner has deep pockets, will reload. Jim, I agree with you. I think you will. I'm almost looking forward to the way my mind thinks with this stuff. laying out the landscape of baseball, who's available via trade, who's available via free agency, and thinking about what the Mets will do to reload, because yes, they definitely will. I'm interested to see will with what. What's up, Baseball Nation? Welcome back. Welcome back to everybody that was here a few hours ago. I hope you had a good break. We are back, and over the break, we got this deal done. You're welcome. Obviously, I had nothing to do with it, but it got done while we were away. As a Braves fan, I hate the Mets getting Acuna, but I love the player. That's great, too. That is, you can already see it. ESPN, Fox, Apple TV, Peacock, I don't know, whatever, Fuzzy's YouTube channel in a couple years, whoever's got baseball and is promoting baseball games, you can see Acuna versus Acuna. That's gonna be great. So I do like that. Peace up, H-Town. You won it back to the Astros. Let's talk about that for a minute. We are just a few moments away from getting into the Nolan Arenado conversation, but let's stay here for just a minute. Greg, you have Verlander going nowhere. Greg, I disagree. Greg, I think Verlander's on the move. What was the holdup with Scherzer and the Rangers is that the Rangers wanted to make sure that they had Scherzer for 2024 as well. You don't have to worry about that with Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander's locked in for 2024. So you're getting the rest of this season, and he's been pitching well lately, and you're getting next season. So it's there. It's there. The holdup with the Scherzer deal is not a holdup for Verlander. So where are you going? Where is Justin Verlander going to go? Let me put the poll out there for you guys, and you guys tell me where you think he's going. Where is Verlander? You tell me. Astros, Giants, add option Reds, add option other. Where's he going? My pick is San Francisco. That's where I think he goes. I have San Francisco 1. I have Houston 2. I have the Reds on the board because Mark Feinsand said maybe the Reds. I don't think the Reds would do it because we now know what the mindset is for Billy Epler and Steve Cohen. They are going to be looking to bring back one of your top 5 prospects. They're going to pay for that prospect, but they're going to look for one of your top 5 prospects. Are the Cincinnati Reds going to part with one of their top 5 prospects for Justin Verlander? I don't see it. Could San Francisco? I could see it. Could the Astros? I could see it. Those teams could try to talk the Mets down and say, no. We don't need, we'll take on some of that money. Don't worry about that. Let us keep the prospect. We'll take on some of that. So you have to think about all those moving parts that we just went through with this Max Scherzer trade and have to think that that's probably how it's going to go with Verlander. But what does the negotiation look like? D-Rod, LA, a dark horse for JV. Well, we heard about a week ago, maybe, that the Dodgers were keeping tabs on the Mets' high-priced, high-ticket items, and potential for Verlander is certainly there. This also might be a sneaky, again, I talked about it, Starling Marte. Nowhere else is going to talk about Starling Marte, but right here. But if the Mets are paying off salaries and they're buying prospects, why would they not with the Dodgers in their situation? Jason Hayward's temporary. David Peralta's temporary. If you're the Mets and the Dodgers and you're the Mets or you're the Dodgers thinking about your outfield, not just this year, but moving forward, maybe Marte fits in. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think Starling Marte can be ruled out from a trade. And we know the Dodgers' mindset and how they're looking for that righty bat. I know they got Kike. I know they brought in Ahmed Rosario. It would kind of feel like they're bargain hunting if they come out of this deadline with Kike, Rosario, Starling Marte. I think they'll make a splash. We know what they're not going to get, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But Verlander to the Dodgers, I don't think you can rule it out. Again, because there may be an issue with a Dodgers trade partner that we're going to talk about in a minute, because we know the Dodgers are looking for pitching. JV, it's a good one. It's a good one. A JD Johnson Cardinals, I don't see it because Cardinals are in sell mode. Cardinals are in sell mode. The Cardinals should be trying to acquire young pitching. That's what I would be looking for. I would be looking for young pitching. We blew past that like goal. Thank you all for hitting that like and getting us over 100. The next goal is deuces, 200. Let's see how quick we can get to 200. Dodgers have great pitching prospects. They do, but are they really going? Would you, if you're the Dodgers, take on Justin Verlander if we're looking for something similar to what we just saw with the Mets and you're the LA Dodgers and you're trying to get Justin Verlander? We're talking, I mean, would you part with Gavin Stone? Is Gavin Stone even enough? Emmett Sheehan? I mean, where are you going with this? You would have to think pitching would be what the Mets are looking for back. Because, again, if you go get Stone or Sheehan or Pepio, they're in your rotation next year. And the Mets need pitching for 2024. They need pitching for next year. Yeah, Muncy's locked in. It's almost a good thing that Nolan Arenado trade isn't going to happen because Muncy, the rest of the way, may put up better offensive numbers than Nolan. I mean, Muncy's locked in right now. Muncy's crushing the ball. So where Verlander goes is going to be interesting. I think that the Dodgers are certainly a play. You cannot rule the Dodgers out from anybody. I know there are a lot of people out there that want to link him to the Toronto Blue Jays. I can see the desire to do that. The only problem is the Blue Jays have a 6-man rotation right now. And if you trade for Justin Verlander, you have a 7-man rotation. That's just getting comical at that point. So there's no room. If Toronto has an injury tomorrow, if Toronto trades one of their starters, then I think maybe Justin Verlander comes in. Any Blue Jay fans that are hoping for Marcus Stroman, I think the only way that happens is if the Blue Jays trade Yusei Kikuchi. And maybe that happens. Maybe the Blue Jays are down on Kikuchi. They see his values as high as it's going to get, but they don't feel comfortable with Yusei Kikuchi in a postseason game, which I still don't, even though he's been pitching better lately. I still don't see him. So what are you going to do if you're the Toronto Blue Jays? Maybe you can deal Yusei Kikuchi, get something else, get something really good for your bullpen to help you right now. Or maybe you get somebody's really good prospect, you bolster up the farm system, and then you consider a Marcus Stroman trade or a Justin Verlander trade. Unless that happens, I don't see it for the Toronto Blue Jays. They just with Hyunjin Ryu coming back, Alek Manoah's not pitching lights out. But Manoah today against the Angels gave you 4 solid innings, and then the 5th inning fell apart. You'd like him to give you at least 5 solid innings. But we're seeing some improvements with him. Greg, what about Baltimore? Jim, I don't know. But Baltimore, by the way, Baltimore, just a quick left turn here. Fill your stadium. Fill Camden Yards. Today, against the Yankees, I mean, this happens every time, but right now, especially with you, when you're in first place, it's time to act like a first place fan base, Baltimore. I'm talking to you, Baltimore. Somebody clip this and send this to Baltimore, to the Baltimore Sun and to whoever else, WBAL 98 Rock. Time to act like a first place fan base. You cannot, on a Saturday night against the New York Yankees, prime time on Fox, and it's going to happen again tomorrow on ESPN. You cannot have that sounding like Yankee Stadium South again. You can't. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. You get a double down the line, drives and runs, and it sounds like you're in Yankee Stadium. And then you see the Orioles fans just sitting there behind home plate. Shucks. Get it together. Act like a first place fan base. I should not be able to go on to MLB.com and buy tickets to tomorrow's game. I shouldn't. I can. You can. Now, if you want to go that secondary market, StubHub, SeatGeek, okay. But you can't. And if you're an Orioles fan and you got tickets listed on StubHub or SeatGeek, pull them off. Pull them off because you know who's buying them. Yankee fans are buying them. And they're making your stadium sound like Yankee Stadium South. Get it together. Act like a first place fan base. It's crap. It's garbage. Absolute garbage job by the Orioles fan base tonight. Congratulations to the Yankees. Good win for you guys. I got no skin in the game. I'm not a Yankees or an Orioles fan. Just looking at it from an observer standpoint. It's crap. Morgan, any more Blue Jays news? Nah, nothing. Nothing pressing right now. In fact, it is rather quiet right now on the trade front, but that could change at any minute, as we all know. So, Verlander, where is he going? We'll find out. Next. Kind of ties to Justin Verlander and the Dodgers and the whole thing, but first let's talk about the fact that Nolan Arenado is going nowhere. Derek Gould tweeting out a little while ago, John Mozeliak says the St. Louis Cardinals are not trading Nolan Arenado. They're focused on future success. Oh, goody. I love that line. Focused on future success. Are you? Prove it. Over the next 5 months, between now and the end of the year, prove it. If you go through the offseason, John Mozeliak, Cardinals front office, and you do not address pitching, then you are wasting another year of Nolan Arenado. So they're not going to trade Nolan Arenado. I think, listen, I'm fine with that. If you're the Cardinals, I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. If you don't want to trade him, that's fine. But you have to surround him and the other talented players on that team with talent in other areas, specifically the pitching.
They did not do that. After making moves.
Where did that even come from? Sometimes those things pop up so damn fast, I don't have a shot to see it coming, and then it's just there. I don't even know what you said. I'm sorry. I got to move some things here. Mark, thank you for the donation. I do not think Rangers are through making moves. Mark, I think they're done for the rotation, but for the bullpen, give me more bullpen moves. Yes, 100%. Give me more bullpen moves for the Texas Rangers. That's, I think, where they're going to focus. If they haven't, any more prospect capital, boom, right there. Bullpen pieces. Add to the bullpen. 39 likes away from 200. Everybody hit that like if you have not yet. J595, do you think the Jays are going to win the division? I don't. I think they're going to win the wild card. I think they could take the top wild card spot. Maybe. Maybe the second wild card spot. So, no deal for the Cardinals and Nolan Arenado. I will just say this. What took so long? What took so long for this front office? Again, I said it at the top. It's not like it was MLB Scoops on Twitter saying that there was a rumor about the Cardinals and the Dodgers talking. It was the LA freaking Times talking about a conversation between the two. As soon as that came out, they should have said, no, we're not doing it. But instead, you left it out there. You left Nolan to have to answer questions from a reporter. None of that should have been happening. None of that should have happened. Nolan Arenado should have been able to, in that interview, say, I spoke to the front office before today's game, and they assured me I'm not going anywhere, and I don't want to go anywhere. But you didn't get that opportunity. So just as bad optics. The end of the day, he's going to be in Cardinal red throughout the season to start next season. But it's just bad optics. It's a bad look. And if the Cardinals run this performance back next year where they can't pitch and they can hit and he's back in the trade rumors, we're going to come back to this moment and we're going to be like, it didn't look so good back then. So what are we going to do? What are we doing this time? Because people are not going to stop knocking on the door for Nolan Arenado. You have to shut that down sooner than that. And you have to wonder, what does that do about what started the whole thing? At least reports started the whole thing that the Dodgers were talking to the Cardinals about their starting pitching. Jordan Montgomery, Jack Flaherty. That's where it started. And it turned into the Cardinals coming back, asking for premium prospects, and the Dodgers responding, saying, well, if you want that, then we need to start talking about Nolan Arenado. That's how we got to that whole point. So is there a bad negotiation room vibe now between the Dodgers and the Cardinals, because if you're the Cardinals, the Dodgers are a great trade partner for your starters. They've got a great pool of prospects to talk through. You're sending rentals, so you should win those trades in the long. So you're set up for winning trades, number one. Number two, they are rich with prospects. It's not like trading with some of the other teams. Maybe have a thinner prospect group. So executing a deal with them is going to be a little bit difficult because, well, you're asking for our, top three guys, and after our fifth guy, it kind of drops off. The Dodgers are a great trade partner. Montgomery could go to Baltimore. Baltimore's going to try to squeeze the Cardinals, so that's not going to happen. The Rays would try to squeeze the Cardinals. The Reds, the D-backs, they're going to try to squeeze the Cardinals for Jordan Montgomery. The Dodgers, they may try to squeeze them, but in the end, the Cardinals, if they negotiate right, should be able to win that trade. Should be able to win that trade and get something good from the Dodgers. But does this hurt them in that? And if that is the case, if now the negotiation room's feeling a little cold, are we back here? Are we talking now the Dodgers shift their focus to New York and they start talking about Justin Verlander? That is something that could be a domino effect of maybe now some question marks around this. I would love for Morosi.
Andrew Fleeceman.
I would love for Morosi. I would love for Heyman, Nightingale, somebody to answer that question. Talk about how does the Nolan Arenado thing impact any other deals. Sergio, thank you for the donation. No one fleeces Andrew Fleeceman. There you go. Sergio, thank you for the donation. All right. There is my thought on that, sort of closing up the door with the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Let's move on to the next one. And I'm in an interesting spot because the stream is going that way. And I am in a rowboat going that way. And the current is getting stronger. Because yes, even though the Cardinals and the Cubs are playing right now, and the Cubs are winning 5-1 in the bottom of the eighth, where they will improve to 53-51, I still believe that the Cubs should be trading Stroman and or Bellinger. Will they? That is looking less and less likely as the wins start to pile up. Should they? I still believe they should. I want the Cubs team to be great for years down the road.
I think Dodgers also need another bullpen arm.
I think you're right, Dodgers. Dodgers, you're right. You do need another bullpen arm. Stroman could go for somebody's top 4 prospect. Bellinger could probably bring a couple of bats. Or a bat and an arm, a couple of prospects. You could, in theory, grab, if you do this right, 4 top 15-ish prospects that you add to your system and get the guys, you got to do this right, get the players that are going to start to help you in 2024. That's what I would do. And if those players are not available, go down a rung and grab the guys that are going to help you in 2025. And then re-sign Cody Bellinger. I think Cody's the one that Cubs fans probably really want to stay and have hang around. But Cody Bellinger is not going to pick up that option. It doesn't make sense for him to. He's going to go out there and try to lock in a 5-year deal over $100 million. He's not messing around with this 1-year deal stuff. So you have Cody Bellinger, maybe he likes it in Chicago, wants to stay. He's told them, I'd love to stay here. But How's he going to feel when they go through the trade deadline, they hold on to him, then they decide to put the qualifying offer? They make the business decision to attach the qualifying offer to Cody Bellinger, and then Cody Bellinger's market shrinks because there are teams that will not sign players with a qualifying offer, especially if they don't have any of their own to get a compensation pick back in return. So, essentially vis-a-vis trading compensation picks. So you could put a strain on that relationship. If you trade him, he gets it. You're trading him to a winner. You are trading him and you are improving your team. A team that maybe he wants to come back to because he sees how good your team is going to be in 2024. And he loves the fact that you took a chance on him this year and you even gave him a parachute. That option. You gave him a parachute in case things didn't go so well this year. You gave him a chance. You gave him an option. You gave him a parachute. It makes all the sense in the world to trade him. They are not a World Series team. Maybe they make a run and they grab a wild card spot. Maybe they make a run and they are able to finish above 500. I don't think this Cubs team... Let me rephrase this. Let me back that up. You trade Cody Bellinger and get pieces. Next year's Cubs team will be better than this year's Cubs team. Higher chances at all of the measurables. Playoffs, division, World Series. Higher chances for all of those elements if you trade Cody Bellinger or Marcus Stroman and you get some nice pieces back. That's where I'm at with this. I just realized we have the poll still going. We could end that poll on the Astros and Justin Verlander. So I would do it. Do you think the Dodgers could pull Cody Bellinger and Stroman? Sophia, I don't think both, but I do think Stroman could be an option. Interesting that there was a report put out about the players that the Dodgers were targeting, pitchers, and Marcus Stroman was not on that list. It's interesting. I just think they should do it. Now, I may be proven completely wrong, and the Cubs rip off a 15-game winning streak here, and in a week, they're at the top of the NL Central. But if that's going to happen, then I want you to buy. I want you to buy. I want you to call up the Tigers, and I want you to get Eduardo Rodriguez. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to just hold Stroman and Bellinger and hope that this team that is 2 games above 500 can all of a sudden become a team that can play to the caliber of the Braves. We all know that's not going to happen, but I would like to see the Cubs go out there and try to buy if that's what the goal is. If all of a sudden the Cubs think we can make a real run here, then you better buy. Prove it. Show me. Prove it. Eduardo Rodriguez, call him up. See if you can get him. You need to be looking. There's no one really from the Rockies. The Giants aren't selling. The Padres. Can you get Blake Snell? Can you? The Padres are listening. Can you get Blake Snell? What about that one? If you are the Cubs, then buy. If they stand pat, I don't like it. Buy if you think you can win the division. Because if you think you can win the division, you get the favorable playoff matchup. And you need more to make a shot. To have a shot. That's where I'm at. As far as the Cubs, they got to do something. Sell or buy. They can't stay down the middle. Because if they do that, Cubs fans, in the end, they'll be doing you a disservice. Down the road, it will be a disservice for down the road. That is where I am at. Timothy, thank you for the update on that one. Keep hitting that like, everybody. Keep hitting that like. Keep driving us. We are looking for a trade to go down while we are live tonight. We're getting to about that window where we have seen 2 of the last 3 nights. We have seen the late night trade. Just a reminder that we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code BALLCAP. Link is in the description below. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Minimum $10 deposit. Love the pick'em game, so make sure you check that out. Play responsibly. play responsibly. And we're also brought to you by the Barreled Up podcast. You have the QR code there if your phone is handy. And if it's not, there is a link in the description below.